Stockholm syndrome.
The world assumes white people are naturally good. So when something bad happens, it's a good person doing a bad thing. They assume black people are naturally bad. So when something good happens, it's only a matter of time before that animal's true nature rears its ugly head. How much longer can we afford to wait?
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
War is upon us.
The next in line to be a superpower is the Israelites. And that's according to the book.
The 400 years prophecy spoken unto Abraham by the Most High is speaking of this current captivity. Now,
for those who say that this prophecy is referring to ancient Egypt, is if he meant Egypt, why didn't he just say that in verse 13 instead of saying your seed should be a stranger in a land that's not theirs?
And this bull junk, what Christianity is bringing out, saying it means spiritual Israel. No. This right here says the seed of Israel.
Yeah. So that was the promo video right there. Let's get into the comments. Right? So what you brother think about it?
I thought it was powerful.
Yeah.
Real good.
Straight to the point.
Strange. Hurting my own self, but it was good.
Strange hearing your own self. Hey, you had a lot of powerful things to say within that clip. I wish I could have gotten more, but you know, if I put too much in there, I'm gonna give away the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know. But Brother Cleo, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it, and we should probably tell the audience what exactly what they witnessed, and what it is that we're embarking upon, because this is the final installment. So I'll let you take that away, bro.
All right, so I want to say Shabbat Shalom and blessings to everybody that's in the room right now. This is the promo. Hold on, let me put this up here. All right, so this is the promo for the second Exodus. Today we're gonna be having the discussion on the second Exodus segment that we're gonna be doing, the last installment. We're not gonna give away too much, but we're gonna give some intricate details of it that should pique your interest. And it just like the other ones, it's gonna be a powerful documentary. It's going to have all the things according to what's written in Scripture, according to what we see happening today. You know, it's going to have all the brothers in here that you see are part of the team, and they're part of creating the video. We have a new brother here that nobody haven't. Some of y'all may have not met. We have the brother Gabar Malak here. If you don't mind, just introduce yourself real quick, Brother Gabar Malak, and just give them just a little bit of a background on your history and your history with us.
Okay, me and the brother Karab go back, years back. He woke me up to the truth, gave me some information that helped my life. And ever since then, I've been on this journey trying to spread this truth and let the world know who we are according to Scripture. Right now, my talents is film and music and these scriptures, and I'm just trying to use my talent to expose this truth and give this truth out to our people. And I'm just blessed to be a part of this project. My mic kind of messing up, so if you can hear me, it's cutting out.
That's good. So what I would like to say to the audience and all the brothers and sisters watching is, the group of men that you see here, these are men that have been dedicated to serving the Most High, and men that's stepped forward to the forefront within this project to do specific things. We're not going to get into the specific things, but just want you to know that the things that these brothers are doing within the creation of this project is going to make this one of the best second Exodus videos that we've had the pleasure of doing. First and foremost, let the Most High be glorified in everything. Let him be glorified in everything. Let him be praised. Let him be honored. And the brothers that's involved in this, that's what their agenda in this is about. And as always, let me move on to my brother, the elder brother Cleo, my mentor, my big brother, and let him have some words concerning the second Exodus. You don't have any sound, brother. Your mic is muted.
Hey, he running his mouth. Don't even got his mic on mute. Shabbat shalom, family. Hope everybody's doing well. Peace and blessings and Shabbat shalom to the brothers on the panel, Brother E, Brother Kadar, Brother Gabar Malak, and Brother Izzy. As far as the second Exodus, this is second Exodus promo, and what you're going to be seeing more of is a lot more clips and videos so that you guys can get excited about what it is that we're doing. And before, it was just one individual, two individuals, a few individuals doing it, but now we got a whole powerhouse, like you see the people that are on this panel, and each one brings their own perspective and their own expertise, and that's going to make this probably the best. It's the final installment, but it's probably going to be the best installment that we ever did, because we're using all of these minds. And I want to say this lastly, this is a test case. This is a test case for Yasharallah. It's a test case because you will see we bringing brothers together, and we got brothers from different across the United States, right? And we bringing these brothers together for one purpose, and that's to edify Israel. And that's powerful. And then you'll be able to see that you don't need anybody, you just need you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, so brother Kadar, I'm gonna unmute your mic so you can say your piece.
Shalom, everybody. I'm so excited, excuse me, to be on this panel. Giving thanks to the brothers on here, of course, giving thanks to Yah and the Messiah and all the Israelites that are out there. But this thing that we doing, I don't want to give too much of it, but it's going to bring truth and knowledge to our people, because a lot of our people have been taught something that's not even in the word, as in when it's talking about the end of time. We've been taught that we're going to be completely raptured up and disappeared and all this stuff. So this installment is going to bring truth and true knowledge, and we're going to have something to really, really look for instead of fantasy. So,
amen. So periodically we're gonna show the promo periodically throughout the conversation for those who may have missed it. So when we get up to maybe 35 viewers, we'll throw it on again, and then let people see it again, so that we can pique everybody's interest in it. But Brother Ibri. Let's move on to Brother Ibri and his words that he had to say towards the second Exodus.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Peace and blessings. Hey, brother Cleo, that's a nice sweater, man. I'm gonna have to get the info on that sweater. Have to give me the info on that. But I'm gonna try to be quick, y'all, because my little ones they running around. But I'm just excited, man, to be able to use what the Most High has blessed me to do for a purpose of helping our people and uniting with brothers. You know, I feel like the Most High has blessed me to be able to do a lot of things, but now I feel like we have a avenue to where we can direct our gifts and our abilities, and so I'm pleased to be a part of something that I feel will give the Most High His glory as well as edify our people. And so I look forward to continuing with all you brothers. I wish that the Most High would, by His will, bring us together someday, you know, to where we could all meet. But, you know, for now, this is a good work that I'm blessed to be a part of. Peace and blessings to everybody in the chat.
That's what's up. Now, the second Exodus, all right? When we first had the conversation about the second Exodus, it was just to bring about hope for our brothers and sisters out there that have been following the truth and didn't really see a light at the end of the tunnel. Didn't know what the end result of our captivity would be. You know, a lot of our brothers and sisters thought within the mindset of Christianity that, you know, they would die and then go to heaven. But we wanted to bring about the understanding that the Most High revealed to us that He would physically gather His people out of their captivity and save them out of the hands of their oppressors and out of the hands of their enemies. You know, and that the Most High had a time frame and He had a promise that He had always wanted to fulfill for His people. You know, and I think it's even more important today that we realize these things as we see different things happening in the world today, that we don't be afraid, that we have more and more hope. Because these things that we see happening around us is for the freeing of our people. Through a mighty hand and stretched out arms and fury poured out, says the Most High, is how He would deliver us. Now, the first Exodus was second Exodus video that we did was focused on revealing who the culprit was behind our affliction, which was Esau, the main culprit. Now, not to say that any other people didn't have anything to do with it, but Esau was the main culprit amongst those of the heathen that sought the death and destruction of our people. And we brought that out through various informations, the Targum being one of them. Now, what you would notice is in the Targums, that was a consistent thing that we would bring out, whether we was talking about the second Exodus or the 400-year prophecy. Then we moved on to the second Exodus part 2, where we talked about the plagues that was coming upon the earth and the plagues that was falling upon the heathen because of the things that they did, and how the scales and the balances were being tipped in our favor all throughout the earth. Now, after that one, we went on to the great substance and explaining that the Most High did promise to give us a great substance, and that there was nothing wrong with us saying, "Give us what belongs to us." And within that, the brother Cleo really set the precedence on that video, because he gave out pertinent information concerning sharecropping and giving personal experiences of what he's seen within his lifetime and his lifespan of what people would do to his people concerning sharecropping. And then we move forward from that one to the message of love, which was the last one that we did before this. The message of love, though it didn't get as many views as the previous first two, we always maintain that was one of the most important ones, because we sought to speak directly to the hearts of our people. You know, that they don't have a stiff neck and that they don't have a hardened heart towards each other. You know, because our goal within serving the Most High was to unify our people. Not that they unify to us, but unify and gather unto the Most High. You know, and gather according to what's written to Him. Now, we wanted to do those things because we saw that the issue of us being here in the first place had a lot to do with how we treated each other and how we turned our backs on each other and how we, we dishonored and betrayed each other, and we didn't want to continue it in the same vein that we seen happening all throughout the earth concerning not only brothers in camps, but brothers outside of camps turning against each other and bad mouthing and putting on display the things that should be conversated amongst family, and not for the whole world to see our decisions and our disagreements towards each other, and now we move forward to this one. You move forward to take next in the purpose, and I want to let the brother Cleo more so give the initial breakdown on that, if you don't mind, brother. If you could do that for me. You still muted, brother. You still muted.
Okay, so y'all pray for me. Y'all know I always say I need Jesus. I'm an old head, so I forget to do things sometimes, right? So we've got two different segments that we're going to do for the family, and the two segments comprise two different trains of thought, but the brother kind of walked you through to where we currently sit. So if we talk about the purpose, I'm gonna take everybody to Isaiah 14:1. One of you brothers get that and read that for me, please. If you got your sacred scroll, would you read? Go to Isaiah 14:1. We'll bring that up because this is right now. We're at a pivotal time in history, and this will tell you and encapsulate what is really happening. So go ahead and read Isaiah 14:1.
All right, so Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
Stop right there. We don't even have to go no further. He say he will yet choose Israel. Okay, so and that's a future prophecy, right? So if you know that this is a future prophecy, you must also know that everything don't revolve around the fuse. And the fuse, and I'm gonna say it on this video, and don't try to steal my phrase, but a few is just a fake Jew. That's all it is. So the fuse over there in that land that they claim is Israel, we don't know if it's Israel or not, could be Israel, could not be Israel, but it doesn't center around them. Prophecy does not center around them. Prophecy centers around you. Everybody on this panel, that's who prophecy centers around. Everybody in the chat, and I'm looking at the chat, that's who prophecy centers around. So when we talk about purpose, the purpose goal starts with not only the individual, but it permeates out from the individual, understanding you already know you Israel, you already know the time that we in. And so what is your purpose? What are you supposed to be doing right now? Right? So we're going to go into that. And we're going to talk about that. Now, if it starts individually, you start with yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror, but then at the same time, you need to start building with other brothers and sisters, like what we have on this panel. It's a classic use case of brothers who had that same like mind, and sisters that had that same like mind that says, okay, we're going to come together, and it's not just about doing this, where you bumping your gums. See, my hand puppet can do that all day. But it's about coming together and actually building something. So you need to look within yourself and understand what gifts and talents that the Most High gave you, because like the Valley of Dry Bones say, the body came together. Those bones came together and formed a great army. Who was he talking about? He was talking about you. So I'm going to end that with the purpose without giving too much away, because we're probably going to be doing these with more frequency. Take next. Okay, so the thought of us needing anyone or needing anything or needing anybody's approval to do anything, we don't. If you go back to Isaiah 14:1, he says he would yet choose Israel. So he done already approved you. He said he would choose you. So if he says he's going to choose you, do you need any other nation's approval to do what it is that you should be doing? Matter of fact, your mind should be like, okay, you know what? As an example, I'm good at carpentry. And I'm not saying me, this is just a hypothetical, right? So I'm saying I'm good at carpentry and I done learned the carpentry game. So right now what I need to do is I need to figure out how I can get this popping with Israelites so that I can take over carpentry in my area, right? Where I live locally. So whatever we are doing, whatever gifts and talents that the Most High gave us, it shouldn't be just for you to make a couple of dollars here and there. It should be so that you can start building the nation and helping to build and form this nation, because really it's all hands on deck. It's all hands on deck. All the brothers here, right now we could line up 1 million brothers and we would still need 1 million more. But the great thing about Israel is this: the Father don't need a whole lot to build. He could take 100. I always say this. And I'm gonna say this live. If I take 100 brothers right now, 100 Israelites, and I'll let any nation get 1,000, I'm gonna defeat that 1,000 with my 100. And I believe that in my spirit. That's how tight I believe Israel is on this earth right now. And matter of fact, I'll take 100 what you call Judah. I'll take 100 Judah from all the way from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way down to San Diego, California, and all parts in between. You let me choose 100, and you let the other nation choose 1,000. We'll defeat that 1,000, going forwards and backwards. And matter of fact, we won't just defeat them physically, but we'll defeat them mentally and spiritually. So I'll say all that to say this: the thought of taking next is the thought of you understanding specifically the gifts and talents that he's giving you. And I'm not talking about I got the gift to see X-ray vision. Oh, I have the ability to walk on water. None of that goofy spiritual, what you call spiritual Israel stuff. There is a spiritual Israel, but it's the same people that you're looking at. So spiritual Israel and physical Israel is one and the same. Mm-hmm. Let's clear that up. So it's not about making everything spiritual, because things start in spiritual first, but then they manifest in the physical. So in this war that we got coming, and in this world war that we've been in, we have to get the mindset that, hey, you know what? It's about us taking what's rightfully ours. Nobody's going to give you anything. So you got to take it. Now, I'm not saying go out there and be stick up kid. And, oh, by the way, look at this shirt. Ain't this wonderful? But anyway, that's a different conversation. I'm not saying go out there and be stick up kid and take. I'm saying use your mind, your body, and spirit, and whatever gifts that he gave you. You go out there and you take that, because it's yours anyway. You think Hollywood is not yours? Or Hollywood or Hollywood, the smoke and mirrors that they do? I'm going to ask a question and then I'm going to yield. Who tell the best stories on the earth? What people tell the best stories on the earth right now? Matter of fact, y'all hear me say this phrase all the time. They call y'all liquid money. Why do they call you liquid money? Because every time they see you, they want to get all that money out of you. It's a shakedown every time they see you. So y'all didn't even answer me, but we tell the best stories on the earth. Not to mention they done stole stories from us, like what, The Matrix. That sister wrote that. They could lie and say that them Jews wrote it, but that sister wrote that. That's a classic example of Hollywood stealing from you. Oh, as a matter of fact, the last thing I'm going to say, then I'm going to yield. Writer Actors Guild, y'all that write y'all own IPs, keep it to yourself and produce it. Don't send it to Screen Actors Guild or Writers Actors Guild or WAG, because what they do is they just take that and compile that and keep it in their database. Then when they want to come out with that IP, they take your treatment and then they put it out, and then you be sitting back looking, oh, I invented that TV show. No, you didn't. They did. Because you was a fool and you sent them your the treatment on how to do it. I gave y'all that one for free. But anyway, Israel, it's time for y'all to stand up and take what's rightfully yours. They're not gonna give it to you, so you got to take it. And they are gonna give you something, because the book say you're gonna leave with great substance. So if you're gonna leave with great substance, how you gonna get it? And I yield.
Absolutely. Hold on. All right, so we're gonna take a pause real quick, and for those who didn't see the promo video before they came in here, I'm gonna give them a chance to see it again. All right. So I'm gonna share my screen. So everybody can see the screen. And here we go. Move that out of the way.
The world assumes white people are naturally good. So when something bad happens, it's a good person doing a bad thing. They assume black people are naturally bad. So when something good happens, it's only a matter of time before that animal's true nature rears its ugly head. How much longer can we afford to wait?
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
War is upon us.
The next in line to be a superpower is the Israelites. And that's according to the book.
The 400 years prophecy spoken unto Abraham by the Most High is speaking of this current captivity. Now,
for those who say that this prophecy is referring to ancient Egypt, is if he meant Egypt, why didn't he just say that in verse 13 instead of saying your seed should be a stranger in a land that's not theirs?
Is this bull junk what Christianity is bringing out saying it means spiritual Israel? No. This right here says the seed of Israel.
Okay. So that's a short clip. That's a short clip, and we got much more to come concerning the second Exodus. Now I'm gonna move on to another brother. Wait, are we missing someone?
Look, Cleo went off, look like.
Oh no, man, I removed him. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right, so let's move on to brother Ivory. When you think about the purpose and take next, what comes to mind when you think about those things?
Say it again.
I said when you think about the Exodus, take next, and the purpose, what comes to your mind?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is something that is rather uncommon. You know, we're not used to people being told to go and take something, you know. And so the first thing that comes to my mind is when you say take, you know, how do we do that? You know, do we do it physically? Do we do it spiritually, or is it both? And when I think of that, both aspects come to mind, both physically and spiritually. Like we always say, everything that's done in the physical is a manifestation of what's done in the spiritual. And so in order for us to take the kingdom back physically, the Most High is sending his spirit out in the earth right now to wake up his people. And so the first thing we do is we wake up and we rise up and embrace the truth of who we are, who the Most High is, and what our true heritage is. Once we start doing that, then we can start calling upon the Most High in spirit, and then we can start doing the tangible things. You know, like right now, you see a lot of people, they have a mindset. A lot of our people have a take next mindset, but they're not doing it with the center, with the Most High being the center of it. And so a lot of our people is talking about economics and things like that, which are really good, but we have to think about what good is the economics, or focusing on that in a failing system. Not to say that the economics won't still be of use to us, but we have to know what's more important. And what's more important is us waking up to who we are, and letting the Most High work from that standpoint, because it's from there that our hope comes from. And so by taking next, what we're doing really is number one, we're humbling ourselves to our true understanding and to our true power. We're purging ourselves mentally and spiritually of the ways of the world, of the sins and things that's contrary to the laws of the Most High. And once we can get that in our hearts, then we can come together and be a strong unit and do the will of the Most High. So when you say take next, these are the things that I think about, both physically and spiritually. We have to reclaim ourselves, even in the captivity that we're in.
Amen. Any other brothers have anything to say on that? Because I know the brother said a mouthful, but I'm sure I want to hear other brothers' perspectives. You know. So
are you? You want us to respond to the same question you asked, brother?
Absolutely. What's your thought? What's your thought process when you hear the purpose and take next concerning the second Exodus?
One thing come to mind to me is Hosea chapter 2, verse 14. I'm just going to read verse 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. So when I think about the second Exodus, I'm thinking about how, as a people, that we're going to come to agreement and realize we are the true Israelites and when it's time for us to go. Well, Hosea chapter 2, verse 14 let us know that he is going to lure us to the wilderness. We see now in America and around the world, we've been killed, for the craziest reasons. Brake light out on your car, or all kinds of, you can have your kids in the car, it doesn't matter. People can have the telephones, they still kill us. So the main thing to me with the second Exodus is to let people, which I know is going to wake people up to realize that this rapture thing and stuff that's been taught in Christianity, that's not true. If you're waiting on somebody to fly up in the sky because they go to, what's that, Thessalonians, when Paul was talking about we'll be caught up to meet him in the air, and so we will be with the Lord. They think that's the rapture. Then I think they go to Revelations 4 when John said, I was caught up, in the third heaven, or that's Paul. I know John, and then they'll say, that's the rapture, and they add to the word. But if you really look at Paul's writings in Thessalonians, he's trying to comfort the people because they asking questions. Hey, man, I want to see my loved one. What's going to happen? And Paul is giving them comfortable words, but also letting us know that our body's going to be changed. He never says that we going somewhere and live in the sky. So this second Exodus, I think, is going to bring clarity and understanding about what's going to happen to us, what is getting ready to happen. And it's really going to wake people up, because You know, the old saying, what was this parable? It's not in the Bible. I heard people say this before back in the day when it was like raining outside, so great big flood. And this one guy, he'll say, I'm waiting on God to come and get me. And one boat came by, say, hey, you gonna come? No, I'm waiting on God. You gonna come? I'm waiting on God. I'm gonna. And you know, it got so bad that he was on top of his house. And he realized he should have got on the boat. So this second exodus is gonna wake up our people to realize it's time for them to get to the word and realize ain't no such thing as no rapture, but it's the such thing as us leaving here and going to, you know, I ain't gonna say where, but okay. I rest on that.
All right, brother Gabar Malak. What's your thoughts on that? On the purpose and take next?
I think the purpose. What I think about the purpose is like, what is our whole purpose on this earth, right? We are in the last days, and we have a purpose. We have a responsibility to bring forth this truth, right? And it's our very purpose to bring this truth out and let the world know that we are the light of the world, right? And I think take next is what's next for us after all this tribulation and turmoil that we've been through. What's the next for us? What do we have to do to get to this point? What do we expect? What are the signs that we need to look for? And I think that's great for our people to understand is we are in the last days and there are things to come that we have to watch for. And I think that's very important for us. But I'm not going to talk too much. But I think that it's our very right to present this to the world. And we have to take charge of what's ours. We have to take charge of our scripts, our Bibles, our history, and our nationality, right? And we letting other people take advantage of our culture. And this is a very perfect platform for us to do that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we are supposed to do. That's the purpose, is to bring this out. And to the Exodus, it's like our people don't know what to do right now. What are they exiting out of? You know what I mean? Like, we got to exit out of the Christianity and the drunkenness of Babylon first, you know, and I think that's what this is, you know what I mean? But that's how I feel.
100, bro, 100. You know, because the thing is, you gotta have that mentality to exit out first. You know, when we decided to make the purpose and take next, my thought process on that is the purpose would be the enabler for us to take next. All right, because the things that our people been through, that our forefathers been through, what we go through today, it currently strengthens us. I know everybody's heard this term. It's kind of corny, but what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger, right? But that's the truth. That's the truth of the matter. That the Most High purges you in the face of adversity, and through the fires of adversity. That's how the Most High strengthens you. You know, He purges the bad things out of you by putting you through certain things that enables you to have the certain mindset that comes about to make you say, now I'm ready to take. I'm ready to take what belongs to me. I'm ready to take what belongs to us as a people. You know, we look at a lot of the things that we went through as bad, and they're not necessarily bad. They're actually proof. You know, it's actually proof of who we are as a people. If you can find somebody or people within the earth that have suffered and endured what we've endured and still exist, please point me to them. You
Yes.
know? Who could get? It's the same thing when you test machinery on a plant. You have to do stress tests to see how much can that machine go through, you know, before it's qualified to be operational in a certain condition. The Most High is building us up to be that. You know, the only bane that we have is our understanding that we haven't learned to operate as a nation more so yet. We operate as individuals quite well. You know, we can make, you know, all types of businesses flow, but for what? What is the purpose of these businesses? You know, if it's not to build the nation, if it's not to build us up to having something that's going to be tangible for our children, you know, if it's not about the land flowing with milk and honey, it's not about armies, it's not about law, statutes, and commandments, it's not about the Mashiach, the head of us, then what is it about? You know, are you pouring all your energy into a failing system, or are you pouring your energy into something that's going to be built and going to benefit your people in the long run? You know,
Can I get
and
a
that's
precept?
absolutely.
Okay. Let me get 1 Peter 4:10.
1 Peter 4:10. Let me grab it. Got it. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 10. As every man hath received a gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of the Most High. All right? So even as the Most High is given to us, we should give to each other. We should build each other up. You know? And that's why Salt of the Earth and Alliance of Zion have always taken that stance that we don't demonize one another. We don't cut down. We don't go against one another. But if we have odds with our brother, we go to them in private and we try to hash these things out so that we're purging out the things that are bad amongst us and trying to strengthen our relationships amongst each other. You know? Because the enemy wants to see us fighting with each other so that they can use those divisions and cause an even more wider gap between us. You know? So, you know, when we talk about taking next, we talking about the Exodus. These things are important because the state that we're in right now, we're able to do damage, but believe you me, they remember who we were, and they don't want us to become that again. But we will. And it's just really nothing they can do about it. Any words, brothers?
Yeah, I want to go back to what Kadar said about the rapture doctrine. And I just want to just say succinctly that I'm asked a question: when has a white man ever saved anybody? And don't give me John Brown, because that's a myth. You ain't never had nobody. Nobody's going to come out no sky, going to save you from your plight. The zigzag man is not coming for you. He ain't coming to save you. He's not. And here's the cold part. The book says broad is the way. When we used to street teach, what did we always use? One of the things that we always used to say, there's what? 45,000 different denominations and 2.1 billion so-called Christians, which if you go throughout the whole book, name me one Israelite that ever called themselves a Christian. Even if you look at the 1600s, when they was kicking us out of Spain, and they know that they was kicking out the people of the book, did them brothers ever call themselves Christians? So where did you get that from? So going back to the zigzag man, the great pumpkin Charlie Brown, come to deliver you out your wickedness. Think about this for a second. You done committed all these genocides and done all this heinous stuff on the earth, and all of a sudden you get to say, oh yeah, I accept Jesus into my heart. And then, oh yeah, he's going to rapture me, whether it be first, second, or third, or he's going to get me out of here. Really? You done did all the heinouses, done enjoyed life, and done lived it up great. So now all of a sudden, now that things is going sideways for y'all, it's like, okay, when he go come and get us? He ain't coming to get you because there is no him to come and get you. Never was book. So I'm gonna leave that alone because I know I might get this video banned by saying that.
But
there is no rapture, folks.
You know, the book writer just said something that's really powerful right here. He says unity is the enemy's greatest fear. Now, if you look throughout history and you look at how they dealt with our people who wanted to unify, that's proof enough to let you know what they fear the most. You know, why did they incorporate COINTELPRO into the Black Panthers? Why did they seek to infiltrate different factions of our people that sought to do things within the community to uplift people? Because unity is the ultimate enemy of our enemy. You know, if you can keep us separated and keep us arguing and fighting over different things like different doctrines and things like that, then you can keep us under your foot. It's called divide and conquer. You understand? So you can't conquer a people that's unified. But the issue with our people is we tend to be more set on each other to keep each other down, while everybody is in agreements to keeping us down. You know, other nations got their issues with each other, but they're all incomplacent when it comes to holding us back and holding us down. You know, and that's what we gotta remember. We gotta understand that. You know, we're gonna come into different doctrines and understandings. But when you let those doctrines and different understandings make you start hating your brother or sister,
That's right.
you know, then you're doing the work of the enemy. You're doing the same thing. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. You know? You're doing exactly what they want you to do. You know? The foundation of Israelites is supposed to be the Most High's royal law, the Ten Commandments. You know? And if somebody is not in agreement with that, then you can't trust them. But if they are in agreement with that, then you choosing to not deal with somebody based off of anything else, you're in error. You know? You're in error. You deal with the heathen. You deal with a heathen, even if they don't believe the same thing as you. Right? You work for a heathen even if they don't believe the same thing as you. You know, you keep your mouth shut and for the sake of not losing your job, right? You won't go into and argue with a heathen about what they disagree with you on, but your brother and your sister, you cast them away and you label them condemned because they don't agree with you. And that's the issue we deal with each other, and that's why it's important for us to understand the purpose within our walk and how to take next. Because taking next is not an individual thing. It's a national thing. It's not an individual thing, it's a national thing. And we have to get out of that religious mindset of condemning each other. You know? Because when we talk to other people about who we are and then they see us dealing with each other with religious standards, then, you know, we look like hypocrites. But anybody else have anything to say on that?
Yeah. It's good. You know, we're not going to agree on everything, but we should keep that behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
We don't want these Christians, these Muslims, the Judaism, whoever, see this, because that's the main thing that got us kicked out of Jerusalem. We was fighting against one another. The Roman army stood outside and said, just let them fight until they got weakened. Then they was able to defeat us. So you are right on point. But I got a scripture to go with that. Luke chapter 11, I believe. Let me get there. In verse 17. And it reads, but he knowing the thoughts said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolate, and the house divided against itself falleth. So that's one thing.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it says a house divided against itself cannot stand.
I'm
Right?
reading out of 16:11. It says falleth.
Amen.
So, yeah.
Amen. So if that's the case, when the Most High says, "Stand up, O Jerusalem," what is He saying?
Come together.
Exactly. You know, but you know, a lot of times, you know, brothers say, "Oh, you know, we understand the gathering of us is going to be to Mashiach. It's going to be to the Most High. We understand that. But we also have to understand that in order to get to a certain level, to get to that point where we're actually coming to him, we have to put some differences behind us. You know?
Yeah.
We are not going to be in agreement when we come out of here. We are not. That's just the truth of the matter. You know, there's going to be people that's going to be doing things that they ought not be doing that would get them destroyed once we come out of here. But what we have to understand is every other nation is willing to do certain things or go to certain lengths to preserve a future for their children, to have for self-preservation. And the question that we have to ask is, what are we willing to do to make sure we have that same standard of self-preservation within our nation to ensure that we continue to exist? You know, because we can't just be like, oh, the Most High gave us His Spirit within us, so we don't have an excuse. You know, Mashiach said, greater works than these should ye do. You know, if we can do greater works than Mashiach, what are those greater works? What is that? What can we do? If not anything that we put our mind to. Right? So,
Hey,
absolutely.
can I add to what you're saying? You said something that was profound when you talked about the Ten Commandments and the covenant being the foundation. And so when you talk about unity and things like unity and equality in this society, it's sort of like a proverbial can being kicked down the road, because it's something that our people will never be able to obtain as long as we're outside of the covenant and the commandments. And so we'll keep being fed with this idea of unity and equality, but at the same time, we're being separated from our true constitution. Whereas when you look at other people, even when it comes to dealing with other people, they have standards, you know, or a certain level they won't go to, because it will break up the whole of what they have going on. But with us, it's like we don't really have anything central. We're divided, we're scattered, you know. And part of being scattered means that we're gonna be looking to other people, you know, trusting other people above trusting ourselves, because we don't have that bottom line. And so I think our people, to a degree, in this society are being mentally, it's like how you play with people's minds and spirits. The powers that be know who we are, and they allow us to talk unity, and they allow certain people of certain factions to come out and speak about unity in terms of our people. But when you look at what these people are into, these people are into things that the Most High is contrary to in terms of lifestyle and beliefs and all of that. But they'll let these people stand up and speak unity, you know. But we need people who represent the Most High to stand up and not necessarily speak unity, but like Moses said, who's on the Lord's side, you know. I think we should take more of that approach as opposed to unity, because when you talk about unity, everybody gonna bring what they got to the table, you know, and think that that's gonna help us to progress. But the question is, who's on the Lord's side, really?
Absolutely.
So whoever's on your Lord's side, or Yahuwah, Yeshua, we gonna unite in that way. Is that what you're saying, basically?
I'm saying that should be our focus, but not to exclude anybody. It's just like Moses said, leaving it out there. You know, who's on the Lord's side?
Okay.
If you're on the Lord's side, come on with it. If not, then stay over there and let the earth swallow you up, or get caught up in whatever the Most High got for the rest of the nations. You know, but the rest of us, we're going to unify under this banner. You know. of truth and righteousness.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why there's a standard that has to be brought forth in order for us to say, okay, we can unify under this. We can unify under the standard that the Most High gave us. Because even when we came out of Egypt, when our forefathers came out, He gave first the Ten Commandments because the Most High understood that there had to be civility amongst the people, and for us to build anything after that. There had to be a standard that cannot be broken. Which was the royal law. So without that standard, how does one have the Spirit in him? He that abides in Mashiach walks even as He walked. Mashiach was a living testament of that standard. One who was willing to die, not only just speak truth, but die for His people. And I think we should all be really willing to do that. Be willing to die for our people. But for some that's easier said than done. But the truth of the matter is, if you can speak unity, but if you're an actual threat of unity, that's when you start seeing people disappear. That's when we can talk about unity all day, and we can talk about bringing people together, but those who had the potential of doing that, you see what they did with them. It's a dangerous topic, but I'm willing to speak on it. I'm willing.
Can we put up a comment from Hebrew Mystic Sage?
The last one?
Yeah, the with the acceptance of the Ten Commandments, our unity. Yeah, that's powerful right there. Thank you very much for that comment. Because here's why that's powerful, and here's how that actually ties into what the brothers here on this panel are coming together to do this documentary. I've never met Kadar face to face. I've never met Brother E face to face. Gabar, I know him because we was on the street together. Izzy, I know him. We was on the street together. But there's brotherly love here. I know right now I could depend on any of these brothers here. If I ask them to do something, I know they're gonna do it without question. And it's not because of I'm important or they're important. No, we love and care about each other. And so when we speak to each other, our word, you hear a phrase on the East Coast, that word is bond, right? That originated on the East Coast. And
that's right.
If word is bond, that's how the Most High operate. Because everything He spoke, He said it in the book. My words will never come back void. In another place in the book, He said, my words will never hit the ground, right? So there's a brotherly love amongst the brothers here, and this is a test case. Israel, pay attention, because this is what you should be trying to build in your own local community where you sit right now. Mind you that the brothers on this panel represent brothers from the lower end of California all the way to the tip up to Baltimore and all places in between. It's a test case on how you come together in the spirit of brotherly love to build something. That's what the second Exodus is all about. Look at the Valley of the Dry Bones. I keep mentioning that. Valley of the Dry Bones, where they came together and built that mighty army. Who is that mighty army?
Israel.
All praises to the Most High, because me and the brother Kadar, we often have these conversations about the law and what it really means, and I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people would start gravitating to it as they gravitate towards taking next and realizing that it's not just about talking, but about building. And it's about building things that are tangible. that's going to benefit us as a nation. Because when you talk about law, statutes, and commandments, the issue that we get with these Christians or those who appear to that type of mindset is that we can't keep these things. You know, you can't keep these laws. You can't keep those or that. You know, so they view it as religious observances, and they don't view it as actual rules and regulations that was meant to govern a nation. You know, when you talk about 613 laws, how many laws they got in America, and how many of those laws are you following on a day-to-day basis? How many did we pan out, like 5,000 laws, brother?
5,000. Mm-hmm.
Now, within that understanding of that 5,000 laws, do you think all 5,000 of those laws are for all the common folk in America?
No, just for so-called African Americans.
Hey,
That is so true. It's just for us. For real, it is. When it comes to us, it's the book.
But realistically, out of those 5,000 laws, you know, these are different laws that govern different sectors within America, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing could be said within Israelite society. When you talk about 613 laws, all those laws didn't apply to common folk. You had laws that applied to priests. You had laws that applied to doctors, laws that applied to farmers, laws that applied to judges, laws that applied to whatever profession you was dealing with, to ensure that whatever you was doing, it was a certain standard that did not cross the moral laws, which was the 10 Commandments.
That's right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But our people that's caught up in Christianity, they can't grasp that understanding. So everything they look at concerning the law is religious observances, and you can't keep that, and you can't keep that, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. You know, and they do that with showing their lack of understanding. You know?
Okay, so part of that though is the fact that not only do you have Stockholm syndrome and you've been brainwashed, you've been so brainwashed to what the others tell you that you follow that hook, line, and sinker. There's no way on this earth that any person that looked like anybody on this panel right now talking about they go into seminary or cemetery or whatever they call it. You're gonna go get taught by the Roman Catholics that you're not the people of the book and that the zigzag man is God. Where you get that at? Where you get that from? When did the zigzag man become God? When did Cesare save somebody? Matter of fact, when is he coming back to save you? Is it that fake few that they said, oh yeah, that's their Messiah over there? Is he your zigzag man? Ridiculous.
This right here, now this is a very intelligent comment right here. The sister Judy's song says we should not telegraph our plans and actions. Somehow we need to find a way to get info out under wraps.
Okay.
Right? Hey, go ahead.
I'm going. Judy's songs, I'm bid you guys to do. I'm leaving the panel right now because that right there. Here's the thing. That's the thing that we definitely should be doing. And there's a way, without giving them today, there's a way that we need to be operating. You hear a lot of brothers online that's got some big channels that they always talk about. You hear the phraseology being on code, right? And so if you're planning on doing something, you should never broadcast it through social media or through the interweb. Go do it. Now, we've put out videos before. So what this is an exercise and a kind of a thought on brothers coming together. And we showing you the brothers coming together to do something. But make no mistake about it. If any of us here on this panel got plans, and we do have plans, and we do have other things that we're working on with the thought that we build in Israel, we not telling nobody until it drop. And then when we drop, then that's what it is. Now, that could be anything. That could be selling ice creams. It could be building bicycles. It could be manufacturing hand grenades, or whatever that is. It doesn't really. The thing doesn't really matter, but it's broadcasting it out there, because here's the thing. To your point, once you broadcast it out there, it's going to immediately not only potentially get you in trouble, but if it's something that could be beneficial to the nation, it's going to get squashed, or they're going to find a way to stop it or steal it, right? Because they know for stealing from y'all. They'll steal from y'all any chance they get. How many patents and copyrights were stolen right after slavery or even during slavery because a black man couldn't own them? I didn't make up that. They did. They did that. They got to pay for that though. But what you're saying, Judia, is prudent and wise, and that's one of the reasons why I never had social media accounts. I never had them, because I wasn't liking to be telegraphing what it is that I'm doing. But I got pushed out to do this work and to be more vocal and to be more in the front. That's why you're seeing me a little bit more now. So that's critical. You have to have a particular mindset, and I'm not going to give nothing away, but there is a mindset that goes along with that, to your point.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, can I share something real quick? We're talking about the plans, while we in our land, and I think in terms of trying to mobilize and do things of that nature, they've already found out how to infiltrate us, So our plans have to be something more off the ground, something that, even though it's in their face, they can't control it. And one thing they can't control is our repentance, our love toward one another, and our righteousness and our commitment to the Most High. And I think no matter what kind of warfare you put up against, if we can unite on that front, no matter where we are, then we'll all be unified. This is Jubilees. It says that and it came to pass after that Jacob had died, the children of Israel multiplied in the land of Egypt. And this is something we always bring out. It says, and they became a great nation, and they were in one accord and one heart, so that brother loved brother, and every man helped his brother, and they increased abundantly and multiplied exceedingly 10 weeks of years, all the life of Joseph, and there was no Satan nor evil all the days of the life of Joseph, which lived, which he lived after his father. So basically, when our people were in Egypt, while they were becoming a nation, they loved one another. It said brother loved brother, and there was no adversary between them. And so this is probably a good start for us in terms of a plan for those who do want to come together. This is something that the enemy can't break. But when it comes to stuff like, when you look at what the Black Panthers was doing, that's stuff that they can infiltrate and even use some of our own, if they pay them enough to come in and break down. But something like this, they can't infiltrate. They can't infiltrate the love we're supposed to have for our Elohim. So I think that's in terms of a strategy, that's something that'll be good for us to come together on initially.
I'm about to shake things up for you, brothers. Here we go. I'm gonna post this. I want to hear what y'all got to say about this. Hold on. All right, so it says the 10 Commandments came from the law of Matt. What is that?
I don't have nothing to say about this.
Also, who is the Most High, and why is this entity a he? Are we not all feminine and masculine energy? What is the topic, brothers?
I'm gonna hold my comment on this.
Anybody?
Okay, so I'll take this. Okay, so the Ten Commandments came from the laws of Ma'at. I would disagree with that because of the fact that the law, statutes, and commandments, you say that was plagiarized from Afrocentrism, but I disagree with that. Next part. Also, who is the Most High? The Most High is who we call the not only the creator of the universe, but what spoke our existence into existence. Okay. As far as us being feminine, masculine energy, I'm a man, so I don't have any feminine energy. Okay. And the topic is, we're talking about some of the points that are going to be in our next video. And so if you haven't watched the videos, you probably should go exit stage left or exit stage right and go check them out. And then you'll have a perspective on what we're talking about. And so those are my positions. And that's where I stand without getting into a whole lot of detail and going back and forth.
Thank you, brother Cleo. Thank you. As always. Now, you know what? Let's take a 5 minute, not a 5 minute. Let's take a 1 minute break. All right. Take a 1 minute break, and we're gonna play that the promo video again for those who didn't see it.
The world assumes white people are naturally good. So when something bad happens, it's a good person doing a bad thing. They assume black people are naturally bad. So when something good happens, it's only a matter of time before that animal's true nature rears its ugly head. How much longer can we afford to wait?
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
War is upon us.
The next in line to be a superpower is the Israelites. And that's according to the book.
The 400 years prophecy spoken unto Abraham by the Most High is speaking of this current captivity. Now,
for those who say that this prophecy is referring to ancient Egypt, is if he meant Egypt, why didn't he just say that in verse 13 instead of saying your seed should be a stranger in a land that's not theirs?
And this bull junk, what Christianity is bringing out, said it means spiritual Israel. No. This right here says the seed of Israel.
All right, we're back. Yeah, so
Before we jump in, can I address this eyes wide open person right quick? Yeah. So eyes wide open. Even though we'll disagree on my art and the book, we obviously have a disagreement there. However, I will say this: you're welcome to come in here as long as you're not disrespectful. You're welcome to come in here, speak your piece, and move on. We can respectfully disagree without getting into name calling or doing anything that's not that's not edifying for our people, because we're coming from a place that we love our people first and foremost, and we want to see them get out of their condition. Now, if there's any way that my art or any Afrocentric teaching can get us out of this position, and that can identify the position that we're in, first of all, and then get us out of it, I'm all ears. And so you welcome here and you welcome to build with us, but at the same time, we're not going to tolerate no disrespect or nothing like that.
Hey, the reason I don't like to deal with people like that is because why does it take for us to come out, for these people to come out? If the Ten Commandments come from Egypt, then y'all need to be out there reaching the people with that. Don't wait till we come out with scripture and try to combat it or neutralize it, you know. That's the only thing I have against that, you know. I don't see anybody on the street corner with the Book of Ma'at or with the Book of the Dead trying to wake the people up. I see them out there with the Bible. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother Eric. It's almost like a fighting an uphill battle.
Well, here's the cold part. Here's the cold part. I've seen nobody on this earth, no matter what spectrum they come from. What you could pick a religion, you could pick a philosophy, you could pick a train of thought. There's only one group that have to constantly try to prove themselves. And who is that? Everybody on this panel. Everybody else. Has any Afrocentrics ever came at the fuse for what they believe? have they came at Buddha and them for what they believe? They always, and so here's the question. Why do you always have to mess with Israel? Why don't y'all just leave Israel alone? Because Israel
and vice versa though.
Huh?
And vice versa. You don't see them coming at them. You know? You know, they don't come at the fuse, and the fuse don't come at them. You know, but you know, here's the situation. Just like, you know, they don't mess with anybody that's not a threat. All that stuff is not a threat to them. You know, it's not a threat to the mainstream powers. Us being Israelites is a big deal though. Enough that, you know, you see it on TV and, you know, everybody want to demonize it, and Christians want to come up and, you know, label us a cult and all that stuff. You know, we don't adhere to idols. We don't adhere to destroying and you know, our communities. We pull, you know, Israelites have pulled brothers out of situations where they were criminals and they became upstanding citizens. You know, so what's the beef with that? The beef is nobody wants to see us taking hold of the covenant and our true nationality within the earth. Everybody wants to see us at the bottom, even including our own people. You know, and that's the sad thing about it. You know.
Can I just say one thing? When you say
absolutely.
even our own people, I do have a beef with the Boule. I do. And I make no bones about it. The Boule, the Talented Tenth, or whatever you call yourself, these sororities and fraternities, y'all been responsible for being beholden to the king not being Mashiach, but y'all been beholden to the king, which is the rulers of this earth. I'm going to yield on that, but y'all is traitors. Straight up.
James Nolan had a good question here. He says, there's a hot debate lately on where Jerusalem is located. What's your thoughts on location? Lastly, do y'all think World War III would be the way we leave this country, America? When do y'all feel the Exodus will occur? Well, right now we maintain that we're in the judgment phases of the Exodus. So, you know, it could be 5 years from now, it could be tomorrow. Who knows? Who knows, right? Where Jerusalem is, you know, I can speak for myself. I definitely don't think it's where all those fews are gathered at. You know, I believe it's a bigger spectrum than that. A bigger piece of land than just there. You know, you look at the animals that's over there and things like that. You know, and according to what's written in Scripture, then you have to coincide with that. Now, World War III is, I think that's going to have a part in our releasing from this place. Either it'd be have a part in it, or it would be directly because of us leaving.
And when you look at the history of when the 10 tribes left Assyria, it was during a war.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they were. When people talk about the 10 tribes,
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever talk about how they were just able to up and leave
Mm-hmm.
from the Assyrians. It was because of a war that was going on. So that's like a pattern when you look throughout history. Whenever war breaks out, our people escape. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. When I look at the Jerusalem over there, where they claim it's Jerusalem, I, to me, that's the Amorite Jerusalem upon my study. Also, if you go 70 miles south, which they call that basically where the Jebusite Jerusalem, um, I can't think of the name of that place, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Is it Quran? Not Quran.
Telerod.
Talarad. Yeah. If you look at the layout, it's desolate. Nobody's there. Only a footing of David's castle left, and it is huge. And the mountains around it, it fit the scriptures identically. Now, I can't say 100%, but according to the scriptures, I think that's where it's at. Um, Also, when you talking about the wars, like the brother just mentioned, whenever a war break out, that's when Israel say, "Hey, we got to get out of Dodge." Well,
Yep.
according to Revelation 17, to Revelation 18, he's going to cause the 10 that didn't have a kingdom to turn on the whore. So yes, I do think Revelation. I mean, I do think that World War III is going to be our, a way to get up out of here as a group of people. We know a lot of our people have already left. It's in Africa this day or over there now. But I think that the last war is going to basically point us to, hey, we need to get up out of here. And even I read something about how Ghana is begin to send their planes with no charge over here, pick us up, and fly us back over there. Now I don't know how true that is, but I read something about that. There you go.
Bro, do you got to be vaccinated for that?
That I don't know. I guess I ain't gonna go then.
Most likely.
I'm about to get on the boat.
Yeah. You know what else though?
Swim.
Something to consider is a lot of people don't notice, but wars are a part of plagues.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
wars that you see happen. Those are a part of plagues also. So when we hear the Most High saying He would set us free with a mighty hand and stretched out arms and fury poured out, we gotta refer back to what He did in Egypt when He said those things. And part of the things that broke Egypt was wars.
I got two things I want to address. The first one is when we talk about world war, what's the criterion or what constitutes the thought of a world war? Because there have been wars since I've been born. America has had their hand in everything. So is that a European train of thought, or is it something that we can specifically say that these three wars that America have been considered world wars, or is it because that you have different powers, instead of fighting little proxies, they actually going head to head? They telling you in the media, okay, Russia and the U.S. is fighting over Taiwan, or China and the U.S. is fighting over Taiwan, and Russia and the U.S. is actually fighting over obelisk, as an example.
You know what I believe that is? A world war would be any type of conflict that threatens Edomite rule on more than one front.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if it threatens Edomite rule in America, and then over there in quote unquote Israel or somewhere over there in Europe, then that's a world war for them. But I mean, how I mean, and that's a good observation, because the Most High has seen, these Edomites have been waging wars all over the earth, for since the inception, right?
That's
So
all they ought to do.
Would that sort of justify why it's always been like trade wars between America, U.S., and China and all of that?
You better tell them. You better tell them about that. Okay,
I'm
so
just
that was my
asking.
first. That was my first thought. I want the people who ask these questions to really think deeply about what they're asking. Now, somebody mentioned the plagues. I think it was you, Brother Izzy, and I want to pose this thought because we always talks about the plagues. The Father said, "Pour for her double," right? And we know who they talking about. But what is they getting the double of? You know what they get the double of is the curses that we went through. So if you want to find out what's going to befall the other nations, go look at the curses, not just look at the plagues of Israel, because we always look at only that. We need to also look at the curses that we went through, because the books say pour for her double. So they get a double helping not only the plagues, but they also get a double helping of all the curses in Deuteronomy 28. They get that too.
I think it's called the cup of the dregs of his fury.
That's right.
He said we have drinking the cup of the dregs. Hey, Israel, you bad. You ain't no joke. If you can drink a cup of the dregs of the Most High's fury and wring them out, that's telling you, hey, ain't nobody else doing that. The Most High said you drunk a dreg. Hold on, man. Let me grab it. He said, "Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of my fury."
He said double the time too, double the 400 years.
Hey, y'all better wait. Hey, Israel, y'all better wake up, man. Realize who y'all are, man. The Most High Spirit is in y'all, man.
Man, nobody else doing this. What we went through. Sorry about that, bro. Nobody could have went through what we went through.
Hey, so Isaiah 51:22. Thus said the Most High, and thy Elohim that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt drink it no more again. But I will put it into the hands of them that afflict thee, which has said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street that them that went over. Right? So the Most High said, you're going to take the cup out of our hand and put it in their hands. What was that cup? What was that cup? It was the curses. Just like the brothers just said. It was the curses. Right? Isaiah 51:17. It says, awake, awake, stand up, Jerusalem, which have drunk at the hand of the Most High the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of my trembling and wrung them out. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth, neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons she hath brought up. These two things are come upon unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction and famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Right? So the Most High is letting these nations know, like, you've afflicted my people. I was wroth with my people and giving them to your hands. Thou showest them no mercy. Upon the very ancient hast thou heavily laid thy yoke. Right? So they can't, if one cup did this to us, one cup, what is 2 cups going to do to them? What do you think 2 cups going to do?
Destroy them the second one at least.
Exactly.
Brother.
You know? So everybody that want to be all inclusive and have everybody, hey, listen, the Most High said, unless they diligently learn the ways of my people, then they'll be built in the midst of them. If they ain't willing to let go of Christianity and let go of religion and start understanding that the only salvation they gonna get is by holding to Israel, then they doomed. They
Isaiah
do.
14, cleave to the house of
They
Jacob.
got to cleave to the house of Jacob. You know, and that's just to escape the wrath of the Most High. You know, but hey, you know, you got the majority of Christianity out here trying to culturally appropriate what belongs to Israelites. You know, trying to claim the records and the books for themselves. Trying to change the images. You know, like it's written, where the heathen sought to change the images in our book to them.
And they boasting.
And boasting against the natural branches. You know,
That's the thing that disgusts me most about this wicked nation is they pride and they flag and all of this other foolishness. Think about this, folks. And for those of you who like to fly the American flag, the red represents the red in their voting system. The white in the middle represents them, and the blue represents the blue in their wicked voting system. Where are you in that? When they say red, white, and blue, it don't mean you.
Wow.
Here's an interesting comment right here. It says, technically they can't mandate an experimental emergency use authorization EUA product because it's still experimental and earliest full approval of 2022, but USA violated its own laws before. Yeah, you know, in Food and Drug Administration didn't approve it either. You know, they only for emergency experimental use. Yeah, you know, I was reading on some stuff about OSHA, what they had to say about it. You know, but I mean, those are walking lawsuits. You know, violating people's religions and things. Yeah.
I think one thing that's holding them back is when you look at the military, they said almost 50% of the military is against it. So they already for sure about it. Then you got another 20 to 30% that's questioning it. And I think that's what's holding them back, because whenever you got the force behind whatever you want to do, you go ahead and do it. And that's what's holding them back.
Well, I think you know they really want to more so get everybody acclimated into it really quick, but in order to do that, they would have to force it on people. You know, because nobody knows what it's going to do to people in 2 to 3 years or 2 to 3 months. What that's going to do to people. You know, so you know you can take it if you want.
Right.
You know why they mandating all these laws? It's quite simple, and you can see them coming from a mile away. They mandate and come up with all these laws because Israel done said, and we ain't getting the vaccine. We ain't doing it to ski experiment all over again. Israel saying they don't want it, and now they're trying to figure out ways. They try to entice y'all with weed. They try to entice y'all with money. They try to entice y'all with food. Israel saying, nah. Ohio said, we'll give somebody $1 million if you take the jab. Y'all done said no, so now they said, okay, we can't get these niggers to jump online and do it the natural way. We're going to just make up laws. Just notice, Israel, everything that happens on the earth is because of you. It's not because of no other nation. They make laws for you. And they don't make these laws for nobody else.
See, if we would have kept the Most High's laws, we wouldn't be in this mess. Now we have to keep the heathen laws.
You know, I think it's you know, brothers are getting tried all over the earth. You know, you got brothers being thrown in jail. You know, and all kinds of things for following the Most High. You know, I would say to each and every brother, including myself, you know, pray that you had the strength and fortitude to not fold.
Yeah.
You know, don't fold under pressure, because you know what? We at the fourth quarter now. You know, and the things that we seen happen, and they happen out of desperation. You know, they're doing what they're doing out of desperation. You know, they can spray whatever they want to spray up in the air and whatever, man. It's gonna kill them before it kill us. Why? Because we got the Most High with us. You know, so I would say to brothers and sisters though, take care of your bodies, eat right. You know, don't overindulge in certain things that's gonna compromise your immune system. You know,
Stay away from that pork, shrimp, lobster, and dog and cat.
All that.
Nah, but for real.
Look, long
pork
story
shrimp-
short, stay away from Chinese food.
Oh,
Man,
Dog
stay
and
away from fast food, period.
fast food. You right?
What you say, Balak?
hey,
Stay away
Fast
from
food.
fast food, period. You should
Yeah.
cook your own food.
Yeah.
Do your
Right.
research. Come up with a meal plan.
amen.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
Longhorn do got some good lamb chops, y'all.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Longhorn.
Those lamb chops, though,
I think I'm gonna go to
that's different.
chops.
Do they grill them?
No,
tell you what,
yeah, that's real. It's not fried.
Hold up. I'm gonna tell you.
Oh
Tell you.
Lord.
Oh, yeah. There you
The
go.
best lamb chops the best lamb I ever ate in my entire life. The chef is on right now. And
Okay.
I'm pointing up because that's who it is.
I'm on my
That
way.
brother right there.
Oh, I gotta
on
come
the
to
grill.
California. You
Let me
good
tell
on
you.
lamb chops?
Oh, okay. See, now you being biased, bro.
We
Let me
get that
tell you.
dry
Oh,
rub
I
going
gotta
on
go
there,
to
bro.
California.
This brother
That
right
dry
here.
rub, Ruben?
This brother right here. Ooh-wee. And see, I get that because I don't eat meat, right?
Yeah.
So every Passover, I eat the lamb, and he'll get you addicted. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm pretty good with lamb chops.
I'll tell you about a funny situation. I remember, I'll tell you about a funny situation. One time the brother Cleo came over to the crib. I was like, yeah, you want me to make you I made him some salmon, some fish and grits. With like with an avocado mash or whatever.
Okay.
So and I made myself a big steak, and I know he ain't eat no red meat. So I made myself a ribeye, and I forgot what I had inside, maybe some asparagus or something like that. But I gave the brother his plate or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, you need to you need to stop messing around, man, and go ahead and open up a restaurant or something." And I was like,
Oh,
I was
man.
like, yeah, I was thinking about opening up the sandwich shop. I ain't talking about no damn sandwich shop. I'm talking about a 5-star restaurant. The brother went training day on me. He was like, I ain't talking about no
Sandwich.
I ain't talking about no sandwich shop. Yeah, but
you got skills, man, and I'm sure all the brothers on here got skills, and hopefully, like Eric said, like he said, hopefully, I know we're gonna sit down face to face, and we gonna chop it up, and we gonna break bread because not telegraphing what we doing. There's a lot of things in the works, and there's a lot of things that I haven't shared with you, brothers, and it's more along the lines of building and taking our IPs. And moving them forward. And so that was just really, really corral. That was just a way to encourage you and let you know that, hey, what you're doing is bomb. But make no mistake about it, Kadar, we going to get down and do some other things outside of just this. This is just really what you would call a test, and more so like a test use case, just to show and prove how tight Israel is. Because I know we tell the best story. So if y'all tell the best stories better than Hollywood, then why we need Hollywood?
Absolutely. The Sister Judia song, she had another good one. I would say you can really, if you haven't seen the second Exodus Part 2, the plagues, you might want to check that out, Sister Judia's song too, because we go briefly into the understanding of why they blocking out the sun and why they doing those type of things,
Sun heating them up. That's why they blocking it.
Can't stand that heat, man.
it's
burning them up.
lighting them up, That certain areas on the earth they ain't supposed to be dwelling in, point blank period. And they dwelling in there, and the Most High like, nope, you ain't supposed to be here. Cancer. So I mean,
well, Bill hates hate y'all. You call him Bill Gates. His name is Bill Hates. So he hates you Israelites. Not only do we hate you Israelites, he hate the Africans too. He hate everybody that don't look like his dumb ass. Sorry if I'm saying that. I need Jesus. I'm sorry. I need Jesus.
Bill hates.
Bill hates. Bill
Bill
hates
hates.
you. And because he hates you, guess what he gonna do? He trying to kill y'all with a Jew. Listen to this. Bill hates. He stole Microsoft. He stole the DOS operating system from somebody else. How I know that? Because I've been involved in technology all my life, right? And so he stole that technology. He stole the operating system. And so what does he know about the medical industry? Oh, he is a thief, robber, and liar. And his daddy was a eugenicist. So why is people following up behind him, believing what he's saying? And because he's never been in medicine. So why
I always said if anybody else did that, they would have been arrested and indicted by now, because they're not certified to give medical advice.
What you saying? What you saying? So the question is this then? Why is Bill Gates allowed to get on TV talking about, oh yeah, the vaccine, oh yeah, he doing good for Africa? No, you not. We don't know what you done stole from Africa, Hates. We don't know what artifacts that you done got from Africa, Hates. That ain't even including what they got in the Vatican. You a liar, thief, and a robber.
Absolutely, man. Hey, but these are the people that they trust in to give them the medicine. You know, I have people at my job trying to persuade me out. They listen. Look, I don't tell you don't take it. Don't try to persuade me to take it. You know,
man, Israel don't need no vaccine,
brothers. So
go ahead.
So, because now they starting to mandate it for schools and stuff. You know, for the kids. And I'm telling my wife, like, man, if they're gonna mandate for the kids to take vaccinations, they might not be going back to school. And I was gonna be honest. This is last year.
That's crazy, man.
Right? And it's sad, but this is how I gotta be. You know what I'm saying? When you standing up for truth and you standing up for righteousness, this is what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to persecute us, and they trying to mandate these laws where they try to take your family, destroy your family, you know, kill your offspring, you know. And it's like, it's very important that we come together, unify, and stick together. You know what I'm saying? And put this information out, but it's a scary time. But,
James Nolan said Genesis, the Targum Genesis mentions 250 plagues that nation would receive. Do y'all know if anywhere else it's written describing these plagues? Well, you know, we've been pondering that for a while now. You know, only thing we can say is you can look around, look on the earth, and see the plagues are happening. If one indication, if you can see the same things that happen in Egypt happening, it's probably a plague. You know,
I would also point you to, and we just brought that out. I would also point you to the curses, because the curses chronologically in order tell what befall us. Now, if you multiply that by 2, well, there's 2 different types of versions of that, and then you also put on top of that the plagues that Egypt went through. And so you could probably, and the brother here brought out that we've been trying and pondering that. We've been looking at different, without getting into too much detail, we've been looking at different mathematical equations on how, if you extrapolate or look at exponentially looking at the 10, but then you also have to consider how. Does anybody know how many different curses there were in Deuteronomy?
I never counted all of them.
Huh?
I said, no, I haven't counted them, but that's...
Yeah, we haven't counted them. And that's probably, James, you should probably look at counting that, and then also look at the curses too, because if you look at that may get you to, that won't get you to 250, but it'll get you to a number. But then you also have to look where he says pour for her double.
So that's what I was thinking about. And all right, so if you said pour for a double, that means she has twice of whatever we had, right? And if you're looking at the Targums and it says 250 plagues, that would mean if those two are correct, that would mean we had over 125 plagues on us.
But also, we got to look at this. When it says place that nation, that's why I say when you look at nation, it's talking about a people. We are scattered everywhere, all over the earth. Remember, we were just in one nation. That was Egypt at first when they got the plagues. This time we scattered everywhere. You gotta look at that too.
Yeah, you got to look at that too, but you also have to realize that when it speaks about that nation, it's talking about an epicenter of judgment.
Yeah.
You know, America being the epicenter of that judgment. So, I mean, we can look in other places on the earth and we can see certain things happening, like water turning blood red.
Well, just like the coronavirus, you notice it wasn't just in America. Actually, it hit America last.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it hit all the other places where we was enslaved at. Well, still in captivity.
Yeah. So I think one of the indicators is some of the things that we would go through, they would be going through twice as worse. And in the second Exodus part 2, we spoke briefly on the opioid plague also and what it's doing to those people. Now keep in mind, all these things these haven't ceased. All these things are still happening. These opioid plagues and all that. These things are still happening to these people, stacked on top of whatever else has been coming to fruition. You know.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna say if you examine the prophets and look at a lot of what the prophets say, you can see some of what the Most High is going to do in there too, in terms of plagues and stuff. So I think the 250 plagues is really the Most High just expressing his anger and his zeal about judging his nation when the time comes. Because when you look in the prophets, he says that this is going to be his pleasure. So there's something that he's been looking forward to doing. So when you say 250 plagues, you know, that's like you telling somebody, man, I'm going to come cut your head off. You know, that's the anger that you have towards them. But
so that number is just really given to express the gravity of his anger.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you see that, that's the only way we can interpret it, because we can't go through and count 250 plagues. You know, but we can look at the prophets and see some of the stuff that he's going to do. Well surpasses what he did in Egypt the first time. You know.
Yes, he sent 10 plagues in Egypt. I wonder, that's something to do. Go back and count the curses they're doing around here. He might got a point there.
Yeah, because the curses and the plagues are one and the same. You know, so they're interchangeable when you hear them speaking on it.
Then when you talk about war being a plague, you can go to like Second Esdras. Start at chapter 15 and verse 16 and look at all of the war that's going on, you know, just in them 2 chapters, you know. And we can kind of see that happening now. When we read in these chapters, we can see that shaping up now with those nations over there.
You see True Cave said right here about Zechariah 14, 11, 14. You see that, Banya?
Yeah. Let's grab it.
Yeah, let's see.
Zechariah 14 and 11 through 14.
Bring it out.
Right. 14 and 11 and 14. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. Is that the right one?
No, it's 14, 11 to 14.
Zechariah chapter 14.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. Okay.
Is that and
11 through 14.
yeah.
All right. And men should dwell in it, and there should be no more utter destruction, but Jerusalem should be safely inhabited. And this should be the plague wherewith the Most High shall smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouths. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Most High shall be among them, and they shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. And Judah also shall fight in Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together, gold and silver and apparel in a great abundance. Yeah. So that's talking about when we in the wilderness, though.
Great, yeah.
That's talking about after we in the wilderness, and you read about the sons of light fighting in the wilderness of Jerusalem. That's when that's happening at that point.
That goes with Isaiah 66. Brothers, I'm about to get ready to cut off here. I hope I get to see my grandson. So.
Yeah. I'm about to conclude this also.
But shalom. Peace out, brothers. Great.
Shalom and blessings.
Take care, Kadar.
And brother Eric, I sent you the email. You get it?
Yeah, I got him. I'm gonna look at that stuff today and try to work on that.
Okay. All right. Shalom.
All right. Peace and blessings. Shalom, brother. Be well.
All right, so I wanted to tell all the viewers in the live that we're gonna keep them constantly updated on the second Exodus. We're gonna try to put out a preview at least once a month for the brothers and sisters, so that you can have some kind of idea of the progress that's going on. All the brothers that you see on this panel are a part of the production, and these brothers are highly professional, highly favored, highly blessed, and it's definitely a blessing to have these brothers on the panel and on this project with us. So just stay patient, stay blessed, all Israel. I want to wish everybody a restful and peaceful Shabbat. Brother Gabar, it's just like, man, it's the nostalgia and the love I got for this brother. Man, it's awesome. The brother Cleo, the brother Eric, man, can't wait to get that sweater from the brother Cleo. You brothers are definitely a blessing. I love you, brothers, man. Stay safe, stay blessed. Shabbat shalom, and peace and blessing to everybody in the room.
Peace and blessings, fam. Shalom.
Hey, peace, everybody. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings to all you brothers.
Indeed. Peace and blessings.